everybody, and welcome back to another exciting, exhilarating Drunkard's Walk. I am Jethro Nolen, the main host of this podcast. And with me, as always, is my chummy little sidekick, Matt Hartman.
Well, how dare you, sir? I'm no chummy little sidekick. I'm the star of my own. I'm the star of my own story. You know, just last week, a bunch of my friends and I found an old pirate ship down. It was underneath. We went down through all these like caves and things like that. There were all these booby traps everywhere. We had to play this old organ, and finally we found this old pirate ship, and it sailed out to sea. And we did get the treasure, though. I'll tell you that we got a pretty awesome treasure.
Well,
yeah,
it sounds highly unlikely.
No, it really happened.
I think you just watched Goonies, Matt. I think you watched Goonies and maybe had some lucid dreaming. You fell asleep, and that's probably what happened there.
I did lose consciousness. I do know that, but
all right. Well, I'm glad.
I think that was more Sean Astin than anything else.
Well, he is nature's Valium.
He is. And it's great to be back here, Jethro. Despite being called a chummy little sidekick, I still enjoy doing this, even though you underappreciate me and undervalue me at every turn.
That's kind of my MO. But that really plays into the whole Sean Astin thing. You are my Frodo Baggins.
It's true. It's true. Well, wait, what? No. I'm your Sam.
Oh, I'm the Frodo.
Yeah, you're the Frodo.
What's he? He's Samwise.
Samwise.
That's
yeah,
who he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
But I said at every turn because we're going on a drunkard's walk here, Jethro, and during a drunkard's walk, you take turns left and right and up and down and back and forth and occasionally diagonally, and then you wind up right back where you started, just like we're trying to do all through Wikipedia.
It's so true. That's exactly what a concise summary of the podcast.
Thanks.
But the sad thing is, Matt, is as much as it would be fun with you and I just bantering endlessly, we need a MacGuffin, if you will. We need something to get us rolling, something to get us off of our present point on Wikipedia and onto a new place.
Sure. Yeah.
You and I can't provide that because then the game would clearly be rigged. So
right.
What better way to illustrate that the game is not rigged by having my wife provide the endpoint?
That's a perfect idea. No one will think that it's rigged then.
That's right. Because if anyone knows anything about my marriage, is that Kristy and I barely on speaking terms. Isn't that right?
I'm not speaking to you.
Oh, okay. I saw that. That was good.
Did you get it?
There's a lot of silence.
Classic improv
training. It was like I was listening and not listening.
There you go.
Hello.
Hi, Kristy. Me. Thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure. If anybody knows anything about me, I would never want Jethro to get a leg up on anything. So no, that's true. And I can't wait to hear all about his least favorite hockey player in the world, because I have to assume that if his spouse is on, that would be the only reason would be to bring up his least favorite hockey player. Is that about? That's got to be about right. I almost said no when I realized I couldn't do David S. Pumpkins, because that's been the one in my back pocket for forever.
There we go.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
That is definitely a bummer, but
I
still enjoyed hearing other people get the razzing in.
Yeah, we did enjoy the heck out of that for sure.
Highlight.
You got to get in line if you want to provide a suggestion that I hate. There's a lot of people who want to put me through pain.
Well, it's interesting you say that. So I started to try to think about things like, because we definitely share a lot of interests and things.
Sure.
So I'm like, well, what's an interest that's just mine that maybe he wouldn't know anything about? And it eventually came to me.
Okay. Well, great. So, don't keep us in suspense. What is it?
Well, I'll tell you. Should I tell you my interest, or should I tell you what you're going for?
I don't. Hey, you're the storyteller here. You tell the story in the manner which you see most fitting.
So my drunkard's walk suggestion, is that what you guys call it? A suggestion?
Sure.
A clue?
Topic,
sure.
Whatever. Yeah.
Topic.
Sure.
Destination?
Yes, is Nathaniel Hornblower.
Okay. I can't wait to hear more about this.
No doubt a great naval warrior.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Oh.
No. So Nathaniel Hornblower is the pseudonym for Adam Yauch, MCA from the Beastie Boys.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I'm a Beastie Boys fan from way back.
Okay.
Something that Jethro and I don't really have in common.
Is that right? Well, gosh.
I'm not anti Beastie Boys. I have listened to,
but I do get razzed a lot that I have too much of it on my mixes. There are some eye rolls when there's yet another Beastie Boys song that comes on.
It's your Billy Joel.
Okay, fair enough.
Huh. Okay. That's interesting. So Nathaniel Hornblower is a made up name. Yes.
Correct. Although it is Adam Yauch's middle name is Nathaniel.
Oh, okay.
But Nathaniel Hornblower is a 100%. I mean, as far as I know. Well, and also when you get to the page, like Hornblower, there's like umlauts over the O, and there's like an accent over one of the E's.
So you have confirmed that there is a Nathaniel Hornblower Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. If it was we were going to his page or we were going to Nathaniel Hornblower.
Well, there is a link for him, but I think that page is shared with Adam Yauch.
Okay.
But I mean, I did click on that hyperlink.
Okay.
But it may also go to just the Adam Yauch page.
Okay.
It's a pseudonym.
So when did he use this pseudonym? When did it come into play?
So during his Beastie Boys, like not early days like Licensed to Ill, but or Paul's Boutique. But after that, he was a he did video, lots of video. That was like a side interest that was his own. So he directed a number of their videos. And so that was but if you look on the videos, when it says directed by, it didn't say directed by him. It always would say directed by Nathaniel Hornblower.
Oh, I see. Okay. So it was kind of like a way of, well, I mean, but did everybody know that was him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think so. Okay. Well, I mean, they did, if you look at any of their stuff, everything was very tongue in cheek. In fact, I was looking at, like researching this a little bit before I came up here. Mm-hmm. Like I read, they did a whole long thing about how one of their last albums is the Hot Sauce Committee Part 2. They talked about like, there was going to be a Part 1 and we've moved the 16 songs around. Like they just would do things just to be
there's a lot of whimsy.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Sure.
Yes, sure. Exactly. So he did appear and there's two noticeable times that he actually appeared. One was the 1994 MTV Music Awards, when I think it was like REM won or something, mm-hmm. and Yauch in like Lederhosen in a whole Swiss outfit stormed the stage to be like, I'm so mad, and Spike Jones should have won. It wasn't even for himself.
Oh, right.
For Spike Jones.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's another instance where David Cross plays him. But I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it on YouTube. I looked around a little bit, but it was on. Do you guys swear on this podcast?
Oh yes,
it happens from time to time.
Okay, excellent. So there was. It was called. What's the name of A Day in the Life of Nathaniel Hornblower? It was. Called Awesome. I fucking shot that. And David, it was like they were at what's the name of the famous place in New York where people, Madison Square Garden. They did there's like 4 live videos, and I guess on the DVD extras, David Cross shows up as Nathaniel Hornblower, but I couldn't find it. I'm gonna keep poking around and looking for it. But
interesting. So this character, quote unquote,
yes, pseudonym, character, whatever you want to call it,
but kind of existed. The name existed before we ever saw this version, this him dressed up or David Cross doing it, right?
I think so, because it was 94. Mm-hmm. But he got credit in 89 for Shadrach. where he painted that video. He hand painted each of the frames of like one of their live things.
Oh, wow.
And it actually was entered into an animation competition.
Oh, cool.
Or not competition, festival. But and that was in '89. And then So What You Want, which is the one where he, like, it looks like it's a not infrared, but kind of that degraded video where they're all in the woods and jumping around and they're looking down. It was a spoof on a horror film one. Nathaniel Hornblower has credit for that one too.
Okay.
What is that the most famous of the videos that he's directed?
So probably the most famous, well, I don't know. So Intergalactic, the one with the Japanese spoof on Godzilla, he did that one. Body Movin', which if anybody is interested in one of doing these, it was a spoof on an Italian spy movie. It's amazing. It's full length. It's unbelievable. But I would say probably the best known one was his last one, which was they redid Fight for Your Right, Fight for Your Right to Party reimagined. And it's like Seth Rogen and oh geez, I should have written down these names. The guy who plays Frodo.
Elijah
Wood. And like they're the younger rappers, and then it goes into the future, and it's
Will Ferrell, Jack Black, and maybe Will Arnett. Not Will Arnett.
No, the guy.
John C. Reilly.
No, was he in Walk Hard?
Yeah,
him. Yeah, he was in it.
Okay.
So, but it's like a 30-minute video. So it's obviously not just the song, but they like follow, or 20 minutes or whatever. But that was probably, I think that one's. And then, so this was all under the Oscilloscope Laboratories is the name of their production company. So they were like in New York, and then they went out to LA after everybody was like, they're one-hit wonders and stuff. And then sometime after Paul's Boutique, because Paul's Boutique didn't have like a lot of critical success. It wasn't until later on it had a lot of people talking about it. Anyway, it wasn't until he came back to New York, and then they opened the Oscilloscope Laboratories. But that label also had some like one or two movies that it produced, but nothing of note, no major, just artsy things.
Okay.
I get the feeling that it was like his deal, like I guess when you work with the trio, and you're not known for your own thing, that like this probably was his area of artistic interest that he could do himself. So.
Cool.
So you can see what I live with every day.
Yeah, I would have had no idea about any of this. Definitely. I mean, I have heard the Beastie Boys, and I enjoy the music from time to time. I don't think I've ever owned an album, nor would I have been able to tell you the title of any of their albums. But now I know a heck of a lot. So
I love their cover of "Walk This Way" with Aerosmith. I think that's fantastic.
I don't think that's the right.
You should give them another listen.
I'm shocked that Kristy let that go.
Yeah, I know.
I know. And if you're like, oh, maybe I will check out the Beastie Boys, Apple TV just released a documentary.
Oh, okay.
Where Adam Yauch also has passed away. He had
salivary
gland cancer.
Oh
yeah. He was 47. So but the remaining two, Mike D and Ad Rock, they released a book. And they also had a really great documentary on Apple TV. So if you're like, I would like to
Library of Congress
know more about the Beastie Boys, but you're like, I don't want to invest all that time, that's something to check out.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I had no idea that they were so like the stuff that you're talking about them making and things like that. Like that just sounds. I knew nothing about them other than they had some music. You know what I mean? I didn't know that there was like anything more to it than that. So
it's very interesting. Their book's really good, very interesting. So
awesome.
There's lots of information out there.
Yeah.
And another interesting tidbit, Adam Yauch, and apparently there's some legal questions whether this will hold up or anything, but in his will, none of his music or the Beastie Boys music is allowed to be in advertisement in perpetuity.
Really?
Yeah. And somebody did I want to say it was like a surfing company or a energy drink company sampled their music, and they got $1.5 million in damages plus legal fees or something.
Holy
they sued
cow.
them.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yikes. All right.
Oh. Well, I feel like that's more information than we had in the
I have so much more.
I know.
I have pages of notes.
We're running out of tape.
No, this is awesome.
This
is great.
About the Beastie Boys.
No, I love it. I love the passion that this, some people come on, they give us a topic and they're just like, yeah, it sounded like a neat thing. And then, they don't know anything about it. You know so much. This is great. I love it.
Well, hopefully everybody will hear this. They'll listen to your podcast and then they'll put on Paul's Boutique. Yeah. And just, chill, hot sauce committee, just rediscover.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure that the 30 people that listen to this will absolutely do that.
Yeah, this could really put the Beastie Boys on the map.
Yeah, it really could. They're finally going to make it big thanks to our blessing.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Well, that's cool. Great. And this is our first suggestion or our first topic or whatever of the season that isn't a odd sport that I've never heard of. So I can't wait to travel someplace that isn't that. So that's going to be good. I was
going to say, if you wanted an odd sport, I'm probably not the person.
No, we didn't want an odd sport.
Okay.
We've had two odd sports in a row.
No.
For no, I mean, totally unrelated to each other. But we did. So there you go. All right, Jethro, do you have any additional questions for your wife before she goes?
None for on tape.
Oh, okay.
He'll get copious notes later about all the rest of the things I discovered.
Oh yeah. Well, wait till you listen to this episode and you start giving him notes about all the things that we get wrong. You're going to have a great time with that.
So many things.
We're going to really screw this one up for you. But
yeah. Woo!
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Well, thanks, Kristy, so much for telling us all about this. And we'll try to find Nathaniel Hornblower here.
Have good walking.
Thanks.
Bye. Okay. So,
all right.
Do we have enough time to record the episode, or did Kristy eat up all this?
I think we could probably do, as long as we get there in 2 links or less, we'll be fine.
Fantastic. Well, Matt, we've got and that's only just a fraction of the knowledge that she has about the Beastie Boys, and I have to.
I'm sure.
I get to hear that level of detail every day.
Sure. No, I understand. Well, Jethro, I want to throw something out at you here real quick, because I did want to verify that a page existed for Nathaniel Hornblower. And I have found that it does just take you to Adam Yauch's page, not to a page called Nathaniel Hornblower. So what I'm going to ask you is this: do we need to get there through a link for Nathaniel Hornblower, which may or may not exist, or can we get to Adam Yauch and consider this a win?
This is a whole Brisket situation.
Not really, because Brisket actually had 2 different pages. There is no actual Wikipedia page that is titled Nathaniel Hornblower.
All right. So I would say that in the spirit of the, if there is no link, if there's no page for Nathaniel Hornblower, how would there be a link?
Because much like we have seen throughout Wikipedia, sometimes the words that are linked are not the page that it takes you to, right? Mm-hmm. So it says I think last week we had something where it was like baseball, or no, it was like curling. But then when you moused over it, it was the World Championship of Curling. Mm-hmm. So the link said curling, but it took you to a page for something else. The same deal, I believe, exists here. I can't say that for certain, though, because I don't know. Now, I think that it's not going to matter, because I really think that our way in here is through the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
And I think that if we get to the Beastie Boys page, either the link is going to go out of there through that name, or it's not going to exist, and it's not going to exist. And we're going to know that.
I feel like
that's my feeling.
I feel like we should get to MCA because if there's not a Wikipedia page for Nathaniel Hornblower, then the words Nathaniel Hornblower are very unlikely to actually link to Adam Yauch. It's possible that they could. Let's say we get bonus points if we do that, but
okay. I think that it will, and the only reason I say that is because when I typed it into the search bar, it did give me a thing to click on called Nathaniel Hornblower. But when you click on it, it takes you to the Adam Yauch page. So that's why I believe that there might be a link that says Nathaniel Hornblower. But who knows? I don't know, because I think Kristy also said that she clicked a link that said Nathaniel Hornblower. But hey, either way, I think we're going through Beastie Boys, and either way, we need to come up with a prediction as to how many links it's going to take us to get from Blaseball to Nathaniel Hornblower / Adam Yauch.
That's fantastic. I agree.
So go ahead and write down your guess-arino, and I'm going to do the same.
All right. All right.
All right.
It's all done.
Good.
Are you having a beverage this evening?
I am actually. I'm doing a little rerun. I'm doing a little repeat action here. Last week I had a Coke Zero and a habanero lime syrup. This week, same deal.
Look at that.
Same deal. Having the same thing 2 weeks in a row.
What are the odds? I'm also having the same beverage. A Trader Joe's raspberry lime sparkling water. Yes.
You know what? We're gonna have to try to change it up as we move forward in the season here. But I'm trying to get a little bit away from the drinking on the weekdays. So that's why I'm trying to find other alternatives, and I have a limited selection as far as that is concerned. So we'll see what I find.
Well, for me, it's a matter of my release from jail. That the judge was very clear.
Oh,
so that is what I will be drinking for the foreseeable future. All right.
Are you recording this from home?
I am. I'm back home. Yeah, I'm no longer recording from county jail.
I guess I don't hear any of the screaming that I heard a couple of weeks ago. Nor do I see as many shivs as I did.
Yeah, and
so well done.
Kristy also not in jail with me, so that's as a big hint.
Oh, I just figured she was on the other side of the glass with the the phone and all that.
Fair point.
All that stuff. All right, so let's get out of Blaseball, shall we? Let's start in Blaseball and get the hell out of there.
There we go. Yeah, well, which might be difficult because there's not a whole lot in the way of
is that true?
Links out of here.
Okay. Well, I see a link to the COVID-19 pandemic.
No thanks.
So that'll get you out of there real fast.
I do see.
Then you're stuck in there for a couple of years.
I do see a link to Absurdist.
Okay.
Which takes us to the absurd in philosophy.
Yes. Why do you feel like that's going to help?
I feel like the Beastie Boys had a lot of absurdism in their art, in their videos.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I suppose that's true.
It's a weak link. I grant you.
Yeah,
it's a weak.
I doubt that they're going to be like the epitome of that and actually link out. I see Philadelphia is linked here, little geographical, but I don't know that they have any connection to Philadelphia. So maybe it's geographical in a way that doesn't help us.
They're famously creatures of New York,
which is close to Philadelphia, right? In a way, as it's closer than Los Angeles.
That is true.
I see the Garages, the band. Oh, that takes you to a separate thing. Is this a band? Is this an actual band? The game band? Is that it doesn't matter. It's not linked anywhere. Okay, never mind. I thought maybe that might be a musical group because it says the game band. Gotcha. Apparently not. Siesta is linked on here.
Right.
So if we felt like taking a little rest in the afternoon.
There you go. They also have a link to the Industrial Workers of the World, which is a labor union.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. There's not a lot of links on this page.
No, there are not. Sportscasters, I think, is the only one we haven't mentioned so far. So,
I like absurdism. Absurdism at least gets us to the possibility of the arts in some way. Which, if it could get us into music, then that gives us a possible viable path. I'm not really seeing anything else that's jumping out at me as far as like, ooh.
Well, I mean, sportscasters gets you into, like, there have been plenty of famous sportscasters that have gone on to then be like comedians,
rappers,
or maybe have started as comedians and then not rappers. But my point is, you're getting into entertainment again. And as mentioned, there was a lot of like famous comedians and actors and things like that were in those videos. So perhaps Sportscasters gets us into that world of comedy, which then gets us, from Seth Rogen or Will Ferrell or whatever it might be. In fact, Sportscasters might get us closer to Anchorman, which then gets us to Will Ferrell very quickly. And Will Ferrell was famously, as mentioned, in that video. So you might have a pretty direct route through Sportscasters.
But Will Ferrell's been in a lot of stuff. And I feel
yes.
like...
He has a long Wikipedia page, even better.
I feel like an appearance in a music video is not going to be mentioned on a famous actor's Wikipedia page because it's going to focus on... It might be. I don't think it's a guarantee.
Okay. I will. I mean, nothing is guaranteed in the world of Wikipedia. That is for sure.
There you go.
But I do think that it would be listed under usually they have like a list of all of their works, so to speak. And I do think that it would be listed there. So I am actually going to argue for Sportscasters. I think it is better than Absurdist, which is a little too general for me. I feel like absurd, getting into the absurd in philosophy is just... In fact, the absurd is capitalized. Is that a particular thing?
It's the absurd. It refers to the conflict between the human tendency to seek inherent value and meaning in life and the human infallibility to find these with any certainty.
Yeah, I would go to Sportscasters before I'd go to the absurd.
Okay.
So.
All right. You know what? I was a hard ass last week and forced you to go my way. So I will relent to your uninspiring suggestion of Sportscasters this week.
Let's do it. All Sports right. Commentators is actually what it's commentator.
There we go.
Commentator is what it takes you to here. Now I did all of a sudden, as I was clicking on that, remember that like, had we followed me last week, we'd have been in real trouble. So let's see if that's the case this week. And see what we've gotten ourselves into. This has a lot of links. This has a lot of Sportscasters. Dennis Miller is linked on this page.
Is he now?
So that gets you into comedy.
If we want to,
right then and there.
Does it? I mean, it did back in like 1992, but does it anymore?
Well, I'm not going to comment on what he's doing or hasn't done or should be doing.
There's a huge section for Sportscasters in professional wrestling, which has a lot of folks that I'm sure many of our listeners would enjoy. But there are links for The Rock and John Cena in particular, which stick out because those are both current movie stars who may have some connective tissue with people that the Beastie Boys have acted with.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that makes some good sense. I'm trying to think. Jerry Lawler's on there too, which gets us into comedy again. Yeah. Did David Letterman and then to
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. But I was trying to think of Bob Zamuda is what I was trying to say. But the other thing with Dennis Miller though is that Dennis Miller gets you to SNL, and SNL can definitely get you to Will Ferrell, might even get you the Beastie. Did the Beastie Boys ever perform on SNL?
It's certainly possible, but again,
we run into that same problem, right?
Whatever, yeah.
Real Time is on here. Live broadcast, voiceover's on here. So voiceover could get you into, recording and music.
I would love to
potentially.
I would love to get into something more musical.
Yeah, well, Monday Night Football is on here. Famously has a theme song by, was it Hank Williams Jr.?
Yeah.
Hank Williams Sr.?
Definitely not senior.
No, right. Hank Williams Jr. Yes, thank you. So, there's a possibility of getting into music, I suppose. But it's a couple clicks away. Again, I do see esports is on here again, which is nice. And Winamp. Oh, wait, Winamp is on here.
Where?
Under esports, an internet audio streaming plugin and protocol associated with the Winamp media player.
Ooh. Now Winamp could get us to streaming, and streaming music came along right at the sort of Napster era.
Yeah.
Right when the Beastie Boys were really, really big.
Yes.
I mean, they're still big.
So I kind of like that.
It's a very nerdy, it's a very niche selection. Where is it? I'm not seeing it.
Niche.
It is niche.
Oh, it's niche, baby. Winamp is under, go to esports. It's like right above United States.
Yeah.
And it's not that long of a thing. It's 2 sentences, but it's near the end of the first sentence. Winamp media player.
Now, are we worried at all that it is going to be a very short page that is not going to have anything? It's all just going to be nerdy stuff and not actually list any actual musicians or anything like that?
I mean, I'm mildly worried about that, but I also think it's such an interesting way to go that I'm kind of okay with it. Sports radio is on here too, but I think Winamp's a fun idea, a fun way to go.
I like fun. I'm a big fan of fun.
Yeah, let's do fun.
Winamp, it is.
Come on, Winamp. Remember Winamp, folks? Did you ever use Winamp?
Oh, it's a media player for Microsoft Windows, originally developed by Justin Frankel and Dmitry Boldyrev by their company Millsoft, which later sold to AOL for $80 million. Good Lord.
Wow. I used Winamp a lot in college. This was back when I didn't really understand what pirating music was. And it was just like, what? Look at all these songs that are free here. I'll just take these, and put them on my computer.
So there is a link for file sharing.
Well, there's a link for audio CDs.
Is there? Good heavens. Yeah. Which will probably have best-selling audio CDs.
I mean, iPod is on here.
Ooh.
Grace Note, company owned by Nielsen Holdings, which provides music, video, and sports metadata. Oh, that's not going to help us. I thought it was something different.
Very excited about metadata.
Yeah, you like some good metadata in your life?
I really do.
Unix is on here. Console game, video game console emulator. Boy, oh boy, there's all kinds of cool stuff in here. Etch-a-Sketch,
Skeuomorphic.
Klingon is on here.
Oh, we found the link Hartman wants to go through.
Well, I'll tell you what, buddy. Klingon can get us to the Beastie Boys, no problem.
How many links would it take to get us to the Beastie Boys through Klingon?
Klingon to Star Trek 2009 to the Beastie Boys. So you've got 3 links to get to the Beastie Boys from here. Because Star Trek 2009, the Beastie Boys are on that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Sabotage.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. I've seen the movie.
And it's also in the third one, which is Star Trek Beyond, I think is what it was called. Ugh. Some stuff tough. All right, so I like file. Tracks,
I like file
playlist.
Sharing. I like file sharing.
Tracks is on here and just links to song.
Is that going to be too broad?
Apple iTunes is on here.
Gotcha.
Online music lockers is on here. What the heck, freaky meek? You don't want to go through Klingon? You're not with me? You're not down?
I'm not really excited about Klingon.
All right. It would have gotten us there. I'm just telling you.
I do like the idea of either CDs or file sharing or even iPod, maybe.
You don't think song is the way to go? Like, I mean, that gets us, I mean, obviously we're already in the world of music, but I guess song might be too general, right?
That's
where do you go from song, right? That's going to be tough. Maybe into particular genres potentially.
Yeah. I mean, we could go to song. Where is the link for song?
It is actually the word track is listed, but it's under Winamp 3 and it says, parentheses, or even lacked some valued functionality, such as the ability to count or find the total duration of tracks in a playlist.
Gotcha.
So tracks is what I'm pointing out. Now, Time Warner is listed on here as well. Like, do we know? That's not going to be. That's going to be too general. Shareware. Yeah, I don't know. At this point, I'm not sure what the best way to go is. I do think we have the most options here that we've seen so far.
I feel like Songs has a lot of viable outs though, whereas like Klingon has one.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You know, actually, didn't she say that there was a documentary on Apple TV?
She did say on Apple TV. I see the Apple link, but that's just going to get us to the company. And Apple TV has a whole catalog of stuff, so I don't know that the Apple TV catalog is going to be fully listed on Apple TV's webpage or Wikipedia page.
I don't know. I feel like they're still kind of in their infancy, so they might.
Yeah,
but if you don't think so,
but I feel like their big hit has been like Ted Lasso, and that's probably what's going to be featured, if anything.
Well, that's one line. That's 2 words. You know what I mean? That's so. But I get it. If you don't think that's the way to go, I'm fine with it. You think song then?
I like song. I feel like there's going to probably be a variety of artists and genres that are listed on the song page.
And there's ways out of here, right? Okay, so let me get down there to 3 tracks and song. That's all it is. It's just song. That's what it says, folks.
Fantastic. And this article is a little bit slimmer than I would have hoped for.
It is. Yeah, I was expecting a lot more. Popular songs, though, is listed here, which gets us into popular music.
Billie Holiday
acapella
is the sole
Billie
picture.
Holiday, sir. Yep.
It's listed there. We can get to canticle. We can get to hymn. We can get to a list of songs.
List of songs.
Which, if you hover over, it says is a list of song-related list articles on Wikipedia.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there's vocal music. Oh, but there are some purple bars at the bottom there.
There are. And here's one that says music. Oh, good Lord.
There you go.
Theory, composition, genre. There's genre. Musical genres. So we could get something out of there. Production, sampling, music psychology, music history. That's education and study. Okay. Circus music. How about that?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. How about, would we consider them hip hop? Because hip hop music is linked on here.
Yeah. I mean, I think they are probably they are to hip hop what Elvis was to rock and roll, in terms of like, they're the white guys who stole the music that a bunch of black people were doing and made it more popular with white people. So yes, although I'm sure a lot of listeners would be justifiably upset if the Beastie Boys were put out there as the, I mean, that's the genre that they worked in, but
yeah, I mean, they also have
cultural baggage that exists.
They have rock music, heavy metal, punk rock, alternative, soul music. None of this seems to fit. I'm seeing band, backup band, big band, choir, concert bands. I mean, none of this seems
of those that are listed. Hip hop, certainly.
Hip hop music.
Is definitely.
So I would go with that. I would go to that genre.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Hip hop music.
Fantastic. All right. They got old school hip hop. They got new school hip hop. So this is the early 80s, early to mid 80s is when they were coming up. So I'm going to scroll down to that section and see if we can find. There's Run DMC.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked.
Oh, Beastie Boys. The Beastie Boys. There they are. There they are.
Where?
Right at the bottom of that, the second paragraph in that, License to Ill is on there, as is the Beastie Boys.
In which
Both
section?
Are linked. The section you were just in, the section you were just looking at with Run DMC.
Is there a picture or
no? Okay. Second paragraph. It just says the Beastie Boys 1986 album License to Ill was the first rap album to hit #1 on the Billboard charts.
There we go. All right.
So there you go. Now hold on. I'm holding
on
the phone for just a moment here, because they are mentioned yet again.
Are they?
Further down, the Beastie Boys License to Ill is mentioned again. So it is possible that they, as individuals, are actually mentioned on this page.
This is true.
So before you go running off to the Beastie Boys, let's wait and see if perhaps
I really want to go.
Nathaniel Hornblower.
I really want to go running off.
I know what you want to do, but I'm just saying, give it a moment. Give it just a tick, if you will.
I'll give it a tick.
Yeah, because I'm looking. I'm seeing not a lot so far as that's concerned, but it could still come up. It could still come up. MC Hammer is on here. You can't touch this. We got Vanilla Ice and Ice Ice Baby. There's Dr. Dre. There's all sorts of Russell Simmons. What the hell? Wu-Tang. There's Wu-Tang. Okay. Well,
are I'm not seeing the individual members of the Beastie Boys.
No, I'm not seeing the individual members mentioned either, at least not yet. This is East Coast versus West Coast, which I don't know that they were considered one or the other, right? I mean, I know that they were in New York, but didn't they also go to LA at one point? I just don't think that they would have been considered in that same thing.
Yeah. I can call Kristy back if we need her to break it down for us.
That's okay. I do see the Beastie Boys mentioned again here, though. They're not linked this time. Yeah. I'm not seeing.
I feel like I'm not seeing a picture of the Beastie Boys.
No,
either. So I feel like that's likely to have had them listed individually if they were in a picture, but I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, alternative hip hop. I was wondering if they mentioned like his death, just because whatever, like later in this, because I don't know why they would mention them necessarily after, when they were their most prolific.
Yeah.
So that's I was just wanted to check that area, and I wasn't sure exactly what year he passed. I know it wasn't terribly long ago, but I also think that it was just the year 2000.
He passed right before the Pittsburgh Marathon that I ran in, so it had to have been after 2000. I moved to Pittsburgh.
It's a weird way to brag.
It is, well, because I posted a thing that in honor of MCA, I'm going to run this marathon to the very last mile.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Which is a line from, I think, Intergalactic.
Got it.
So that's the only reason that piece of trivia stuck in my brain. And I think I ran it in like 2000. I moved here in 2011. So I'm guessing like 2012 or perhaps 2013.
Okay. So 2012, 2013. Yeah, I don't see anything. I mean, I think we're just going to probably have to go through the Beastie Boys.
And
I think that's fine. I don't think that there's a problem with that.
There we go. All right. So under the 1983 to 1986, you'll see a picture of Run DMC, and right by that is a link to the Beastiest Boys.
Beastie Boys.
Indeed, and there they are.
Beastie Boys.
Mike D,
all right, very
added
good.
MCA. Now, before we go click on MCA's link here, let's see if Nathaniel Hornblower is mentioned on this page.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm looking under associated acts and past members. I was wondering if there was any mention of him as Nathaniel Hornblower in any of those. I don't see it. What was the? I don't remember specifically which video she was referring to.
She mentioned Shadrach. She mentioned Body Movin'. She mentioned Intergalactic.
Okay. Just because there were mentions of the individual albums and things like that.
Yeah. So the MTV Music Video Awards is linked at the bottom here, and they do have links for Intergalactic as the best hip hop video.
Gotcha.
But I don't know if we tried to get through there, it was going to have like Nathaniel Hornblower as a link.
Yeah. Nathaniel Hornblower, Horatio's brother.
Yeah.
Brother, son,
cousin, friend.
I am thinking that are you okay?
I wasn't, but now I am.
Thought I lost you there for a second.
You did in fact lose me for a second, and now I'm back.
On September 28th, 1999, Beastie Boys joined Elvis Costello to play Radio on the 25th anniversary season of Saturday Night Live.
There you go. But coming from SNL, we never would have found that because we would have had to dig through like 40 years of musical guests.
Yes, but it does answer our question, which I'm sure that, I'm sure Kristy would have known that they had played on Saturday Night Live, and indeed now so do we. Indeed, know that they did. Yeah, I feel like there's a chance that it is on this page somewhere, but I'm not seeing it yet. And of course, we cannot use the Control F to find.
It is verboten
because that's not something we're allowed to do.
It is not showing up on the 1990 to 96 era, which is when he was most active as a director.
Okay. Okay.
And I actually had, Chris and I had tickets to see Beastie Boys at the Hollywood Bowl. And ended up, that show got canceled because it was canceled because of Adam Yauch's cancer. It was a big bummer that happened while we were down there, because she'd never had a chance to see them live. But yeah, it's a total bummer. But I'm not seeing MCA's nom de plume or nom de direct in any of these years in which he was. There is Oscilloscope Laboratories, as mentioned.
Oh yeah, you see that?
By My Darling Wife, from the 2002 to 2008 era, but I'm not seeing Nathaniel Hornblower listed anywhere on here. So,
that's crazy. You would have thought that it would have been mentioned. Document the Beastie Boys are directed by Spike Jonze. So there's no mention of that moment where he ran up on stage or anything along those lines.
They did so many famous goofs that I don't know that all of them would be fitting on there. And also, the Beastie Boys are not the Beatles, because if you remember the Beatles page, like that went on for years.
Yes, I do remember that. I see the information about here's Seth Rogen and awesome. I fucking shot that.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down there as well.
On there. Yep. All right. So the question then becomes, is it okay to click on just Adam's name, on just MC? What do we feel here?
So Kristy came in with a Post-it note while we were recording.
Yeah.
And said that Nathaniel Hornblower is only a redirect page, so it's not its own page. So
right. No, I mentioned that. But if it's a redirect page, that means that there is a link that says it somewhere. You see what I'm saying? If it is a redirect page.
Or it could be a search term that you search for, and it says, hey, you're looking for this, in the same way that if I search for Tony Clifton, it might redirect me to Andy Kaufman's page.
I see. Yeah. That's certainly possible.
How about this? How about we let our listeners search Wikipedia for a clickable link that says Nathaniel Hornblower. And if they can find that, then we will give them a special Drunkard's Walk piece of memorabilia that they can remember and have for the remainder of their lives. It'd be really weird if you said no.
Okay. I mean, great. That's certainly fine. I was probably going to do that just at the end of the episode here, but no, that's fine. Let's do that.
All right then. So
I love it.
If we're doing that, then we should just go ahead and click on the Adam MCA Yauch page.
Yeah, I agree. That's what we should do.
And here we are.
We are there.
And there he is.
So we have found it. And yes, there's an image, which not terribly surprising. And as you said, and as it was pointed out, Nathaniel is his middle name. So there you go.
There we go. I'm scanning the page to see if there's mention of Nathaniel Hornblower on here.
Oh, interesting.
So there is
also known as
right hand.
Yeah.
Yep. Little bar there.
Yep. I see that. So there you go. Well, we've done it. It doesn't say redirected from up here at the top either. So,
it does not.
So probably not on here, but we have found it. We have gotten from Blaseball to Adam Yauch, and that has taken us six links to do that. So it's a little longer than our average, but a little shorter than our very first episode, a little longer than our last episode. But I'll tell you what, Jethro, I made a prediction.
Did you now?
At the beginning of the episode. And my prediction was 5.
Ooh, you predicted 5. Oh, man.
I did. And what did you predict? It sounds like you predicted something better.
No, I mean, 5 is a very good prediction. It's just...
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just not 6.
You son of a gun.
There we go.
You're so crafty.
Aren't I, though?
6 was your guess, and 6 is what it was. No wonder you wanted to jump straight there and not go any further. So,
I mean,
no surprise at all.
If we had gone further, it only would have benefited me because I had the higher guess. So,
it's true, but you didn't know that at the time, did you?
That is true. That is true.
No, sir. Well done, though, on that spot on guess. I say to you, well done.
Well, thank you, sir.
And I think that was a good time, and I learned a heck of a lot here. I'll tell you what, I did not know basically anything that I found out today. So I'm excited to have learned some new things, and excited to do it again next week.
Me too. Me too.
Hey everybody, Matt Hartman here again, and thanks so much for listening to Drunkard's Walk. We really do appreciate it. Of course, a big thank you to Jesse L.E. for our theme music and Nick Jaramillo for all the artwork that he did for us. A slight retraction from last week's episode. We told you that Walter Day had passed away. Turns out that is totally incorrect. So my apologies to all of you out there. He is still alive and well. And apologies, of course, to Walter. We really hope that you enjoyed what you listened to today. We hope you're enjoying Drunkard's Walk in general. We'd love a rating or review on iTunes. So if you could give me a couple of seconds, go over and do that. And of course, if you'd like to join our Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/drunkardswalkpodcast and join there. So we'll see you again next week. Take care, everybody.